All right, players are now placing their prizes down, and we take a look there. Now, Jordan does have that Marnie in the prizes. There's only one in his deck, thanks to just wanting to, like, just have the critical mass of items. Meanwhile, two switch on Bert's side of the field. That could come up big.
Yeah, Marnie is not clay, so that's why
that is true.
That's why there's only one. Yeah, but we did see over on Bert's side a little bit more of a struggle. It's going to have multiple tag calls prized and these switches, so bit unfortunate. Jordan is going to choose to go first here. I'm gotta assume that's what he chose, and he's got to be feeling pretty great. He did start off that Jirachi, and he is going to get to go through his deck early.
Yeah, well, anytime you start Jirachi, it's what you want to see. It is essentially your engine for these early games, and pretty much thereon after, anytime a Pokemon gets knocked out. Starts off with that energy spinner, being able to grab a basic energy from Jordan's deck, puts it in his hand. Granted, if he was going second, he's able to grab 3 energy instead of 1. But
one
doesn't need too much right now. Already has 4 energy in hand.
Wow, yeah, so that's actually pretty great for when he does finally get to use clay as well, so that he knows that he will be hitting a lot of those item cards. Maybe he only does hit like 1 metal energy, which is actually the optimal amount, because then you would start to activate your metal saucers.
I'm not actually seeing any Pokemon search in Jordan's hand here. It could be a little awkward. I think there is a clay for next turn, but goes ahead and attaches the energy to the Jirachi and passes the turn. Now he's attaching the energy because he is playing 3 energy switch in his deck, but that is not the kind of look you want to see turn 1 here in round 5.
Yeah, so Bert on the other side actually has a slight window open now for him where he could get a turn 1 attack knockout into this Jirachi and steal a game. He does have that metal saucer in his hand, and we also see the energy in the discard pile now. So maybe 1 more metal energy. If he's able to find a way to switch himself to the active spot and get that metal saucer, he could just take this game right now.
Well, he would need another energy in the discard as well, right?
Right. So there's a little more to ask from him, but you know that's what this deck is capable of. If you find multiple quick ball or any other way to get some of these energies into the discard pile, you could find yourself in a good spot. All of his tag team supporters generally give him that effect to start pulling away.
Oh wow, we actually see a second metal saucer in Bert's hand. Goes ahead and plays that first one, and this is such a great play.
Yes, he was able to put that metal saucer back on the top of his deck. He's going to have that Dedenne, so he could go ahead and put some more into his discard pile. A draw, he does have that metal saucer there for him. Is he going to find a way to switch out?
There's the switch, had 2 of them. Oh my gosh. And this is just game. Bert takes game 1 here with a turn 1 attack with Zacian V. Usually, we were talking about, oh, yeah, clay can get you the turn 1 alter creation. Well, who needs clay when you just go double metal saucer, thanks to the help of Primate Wisdom, to have it not be discarded?
He prized 2 switch. How do you do that? I'm over here frantically looking. He's got 4 switch in there. Okay, so he put himself in the best spot possible with his deck building. He doesn't need to have those. Only had 2 in there. Was able to find one on the top 6. Pretty amazing from Bert.
Wow. That is one way to start this match.
Woo! Man, I really wanted to see some clay action. And thankfully,
he had it in his hand. He just could not find another Pokemon. No quick ball in sight.
Yeah. Thankfully, this is a best 2 out of 3 series. So we do get a little more time to watch my boy go at it.
46 minutes of time.
Yeah, thankfully. Thanks, Bert, for making this move a little quickly for us. But wow, that is something else. You really don't see that very often out of the ADP style deck. They usually focus on that slow, methodical turn 2 alter creation, then turn 3 start to get those big attacks, stealing extra prize cards. Instead, he just says, I'm going to win the game right now.
So what kind of mindset does that put you in going into game 2? If you're Jordan.
If I'm Jordan, I'm thinking, man, I want to draw a Pokemon. That's about it. Because honestly, there was nothing else that he could do for himself. He put himself in the best spot possible. He looked for any way to find a Pokemon with that Jirachi, was unable to do so, and really just had to pray his opponent couldn't do that.
First card of game 2 for Jordan has that quick ball. We will not see the game end next turn.
That's golf clap, absolutely. No, that's fantastic for him. Finally able to get to play a little bit of Pokemon here. Also, staring down that Oranguru from your opponent makes you feel a little bit better too. Probably means that Bert isn't starting his best possible hand.
And granted, no Jirachi start from Jordan here. Could hamper it a little bit, but he will be able to at least get a turn 2 altered creation, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, there's no, I don't think that Bert plays any interesting like wait and see or anything like that. So also he has that water energy, which is pretty crucial. The water energies can be tricky to come across if you don't find energy spinner. So being able to get one of those few water energies down is going to be pretty crucial.
And that's where you see the difference in the lists. Jordan is playing just water energies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Excuse me, but man, that's pretty cool. He got 2 medals for free.
It's not bad.
Off of his Intrepid sword.
It's like this Zacian V card's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that worked out just fine.
All right, Bert opens his turn up with a quick ball of his own. Discards a metal energy. Has that metal saucer in hand. Not too shabby.
Yeah, this has been his patented move. I'm about to just call it the Bert.
Call it the Bert.
Everyone's doing the Bert. Come on, kids.
Turn 1 quick ball. Metal saucer.
It's pretty great. He's going to be able to get to accelerate that energy. He might be wishing that he had an energy switch in his deck so that he could start doing fancy plays too, but no, this is not too shabby for him. Going to have to see what he has going on for him with the rest of his deck. He does have another quick ball.
So the Primate Wisdom nets him the quick ball, also puts back a custom catcher on top of the deck. So he has that Professor Research in his hand. Didn't want to discard that custom catcher, save it for later.
Yeah, no, that research is going to be pretty impactful for him. Also able to find the Jirachi now, so it's going to give himself a few more options if he does want to just take it slow, try to find that energy attachment for an Arceus Dialga and Palkia, and start to maybe use Jirachi along the way.
It's going to be interesting to see if he has a way to get this Oranguru out of the active spot to start using Stellar Wish. But thanks to that Professor Research, discarding 0 cards to draw 7 here, and gets that switch off that 7 as well.
Yeah, we do see that Bert is playing that unit energy. It's pretty interesting. We've seen a lot of players starting to add in rainbows or that Aurora energy to help them out, but instead he's opted for that card.
Well, he just plays the 1,
okay,
and then still has the 2 Aurora.
All right, so he just doesn't like the rainbow. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, here we see a big charm coming down on the Zacian V. Or no, Vitality.
Yeah, he's got the Vitality
band. And we're just going at it here. Dedenne GX hitting the board. Dede change, discards the hand away. Another hand of 6. And there's the attachment for turn. The double metal saucer coming in huge again. And here's another turn 1 Brave Blade from Bert here.
Yeah, this has been pretty impressive from Bert. He's just been able to fly through his deck and get a lot of damage down. And this generally isn't a playstyle that you go with in the mirror match, but you really need to do something when you know that your opponent is going to get a very easy GX attack off. So going aggressive here actually kind of makes sense. You want to put some pressure on him so that if he does choose to go, if Jordan decides to just attach that energy and use his GX attack, he's given up 3 prize cards, which feels pretty bad.
Yeah, and it actually works. The math works out to where with Shrine of Punishment and the Vitality Band, you do 250 damage this turn. 260 coming back to you.
Oh, we're talking custom catchers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. You got a 250 now, 260 back.
Yeah, you could just clean up the entire board next turn.
Yeah, if you could just take the Zacian and get yourself a switch card, you could just clean up this the whole board.
All right, are you ready, Kyle? Clay. Discard the top 7 cards of Jordan's deck, and he gets to take all item cards he finds, puts it in his hand. How many cards will he draw?
That
1,
looks like
2, 3, 4, 5.
I told you, man. It's
not bad, yeah.
It's almost always 5 or 6. Clay is a good man. Never steer you wrong.
I mean, anyone with a cowboy hat.
Gotta trust him.
And there we see you kind of already committed to the water energy to the Arceus Dialga and Palkia, and you're like, okay, well, I need Alter Creation. Kind of like the extra prize card might help him come back in this game.
Yeah, so I'm curious if he is playing any of the stadium cards, because some of these decks just completely go about the other way. And it looks like the only stadium that he plays is the Shrine of Punishment, from what I see.
It's kind of awkward.
He has no way to combat this. So being as what you said earlier, with that being at 250 hit point or 250 damage on him, he only has those 2 more ticks of the Shrine of Punishment left, he has to make use of this card right now. If he retreated, he would just be giving 3 prizes away anyways, so you might as well just use that GX attack here.
It'll be interesting to see if Bert is going to be able to put together some custom catchers for next turn. I believe I did see one when he drew from the Professor's or the Detonate last turn.
Yep, and we knew that he was saving those, trying to protect them for later on in the game.
And this is also one thing that's very different in the decks too, because when you're playing tag calls and things like that, a lot of the times something like Mallow and Lana pops up. Like, granted, Bert's not choosing to play any of those, but it's something that could have probably saved this Arceus and Palkia.
Right. It's one of those that it made a lot of sense in previous metas, maybe where players were going for those 2-hit knockouts, but with such big damage outputs, a lot of players have decided I'll just play more switching effects and not worry about 120 heal because it's usually irrelevant.
Oh,
wow.
And off the Cynthia and Caitlyn, double custom catcher is found for Bert here. And we're going to see a pretty big turn if he decides to go for it.
Yeah, he does still need to find a way to move out of the active spot because he can't attack again. But if he's able to work this out, that'd be pretty sweet.
They had to make sure he got his supporter back from that Cynthia and Caitlyn. It's not a May.
He tried to cheat himself, yeah.
Oh, man. It is not looking like he has a way to actually get out of the active without just retreating here.
Well, Metal Saucer is his best friend, so maybe he's able to find another one.
Oh, no.
Just finds a reset stamp.
And this gives a window of opportunity for Jordan here. We won't see an attack from Bert this turn.
Yep, so Bert will continue to take those prize cards. He does have the 3 available to him as soon as his turn does end, but it's a really awkward spot for him. He was hoping to really cash out on those custom catchers and take another knockout here, remove those 2 energies from play, and you really could see that Jordan was going to be in a really rough spot. But the fact that those are going to stay around, that's pretty rough. Actually, forgive us. We actually missed it's 280.
Oh, I knew it.
I was thinking he's just another 270 like Mewtwo, but man, I got to get that in my head.
No, there's 3 of them there. They need a little more HP.
He's too big. Actually.
So it kind of gives Jordan an opportunity to maybe get extra energy into play this turn.
Yeah, I wonder if he plays a big charm maybe to help himself out there. Maybe he can buy himself extra time, but
it does not look like it. Only choosing for that one of Vitality band. And there we see the one Marnie in his list. Shuffle your hand, put it at the bottom, and then you draw 5, your opponent draws 4.
Yep, so for Bert, that means that multiple custom catchers are going to be now on the bottom of his deck.
And that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for him. Was thankfully able to get himself 2 of those metal energies off of Intrepid Sword, so that helps a ton in being able to have some retaliation. But this is it's really awkward for both players. This is not the knockout that you want to take if you're Jordan, and you're going to get knocked out by a stadium card that you play in your deck.
And there, Jordan is eyeing down that one of Detonate GX in his deck. The 5 cards drawn off of Marnie weren't really helping him, so he's trying to roll the dice again, discard some energy, and try to get something going here. Maybe even something like his own custom catchers to be able to take a knockout on something like that Detonate GX.
Yeah, he could definitely find himself something relevant here. Also doesn't have to worry about Dedenne being knocked out, as his opponent hasn't used Altered Creation, so you're not worried about giving cheap, easy prize cards to him.
It does not look like the 6 cards were very fruitful for Jordan here, though. Just a couple of Energy Spinner, Skateboard, and a few Pokemon to go along with it. Although he's still taking 2 prizes off the active.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not terrible. Your opponent is not going to play an Arceus Palkia this game. That's just because the alteration has already occurred. He's going to make you have to fight through multiple Zacian B. So those 2 prizes it's probably going to go at 2-3-3 if it goes the way that Bert wants it to, make you work through 8 prize cards.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's pretty hard, but I mean they were pretty free from Alter Creation. So when you're used to doing a lot of light work, when it finally gets heavy, it maybe weighs a little more.
And we actually see another Arceus and Dalga and Palkia hit the bench. Possibly just the target for Ultimate Ray here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. It's another huge Pokemon that could absorb a shot. Maybe the only way that you truly get punished is if Shrine damage starts to compound on that, and then Bert's able to take advantage with a big shot off of multiple custom catchers on it.
Well, Bert has a clear path to victory now, right?
Right.
Because without using Altered Creation GX, he's going to have to just knock out these two big tag team Pokemon, and that will seal the game up. And remember, this active is getting knocked out just by passing the turn from Jordan here.
So it's the most rewarding way to take through prize cards.
I like it. And just like that, it is now 2-3. And wow, ooh, we see a Lysander Lab. That's a pretty good card in this matchup. Could also bump Shrine of Punishment for later on, but I don't think that's going to be really what he wants to do.
Yep. I think Bert's going to want to let that damage tick, 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 and maybe 280 will turn into 230 at some point. Whoa. Actually going to go ahead and promote the Arceus Dagapalki as well. Wants to absorb a shot here now.
It's risky.
Bold.
There's the Roar energy from Bert. Being able to count as any energy type, just has to discard a card from your hand. And a Fion on the bench. I don't think Bert will be choosing to use this.
Yeah, that's safe.
And we see the one custom catcher off of that Professor's Research. We know two are at the bottom of the deck. So he's going to have to do a little bit of work to try to find that for maybe next turn.
Yeah, if he was able to find a way to shuffle his deck, then maybe he could get himself in a better spot here. Just so that maybe he could start using a Rangaroo and start bouncing around, maybe find the right top deck there to get himself set up for a future turn.
Yeah, but that Metal Saucer hitting the board, charging up that Zacian B on the bench is pretty good for Bert. Kind of gives him two attackers, and those are the two attackers he's going to need to use to essentially seal this game up.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's think about it even from Jordan's side now. Jordan only plays Shrine of Punishment as his stadium cards. So once you take a hit like this, you're putting yourself, he's going to be at...
So it's going to be at 250.
250? Yeah, so you have 1.5, you have 3...
1.5 turns.
Yeah,
yes.
1.5 turns to finish this.
Well, the double custom catcher in Jordan's hand right now will allow him to take at least 3 prizes this turn.
This is really going to come down to the wire then.
And it's unfortunate because something like Reset Stamp is not really something that's going to be good in this position, just because it actually gives Bert more of a chance to get those custom catchers.
Right, yeah, you don't want to go ahead and shuffle your opponent in and see if he can help find them. He was able to also play his hand down to 4, so it's not really shuffling a lot of cards back in either. So Bert's put himself in a pretty good spot here, and he's just hoping that Jordan misses one step and those 1.5 turns come a little soon.
There's only 1 energy left here for Jordan in his deck. I don't even know if he's going to have enough energy to try to even take the rest of these knockouts.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tricky. He does have the multiple custom catcher here now, but this retreat hurts so much because
the Absol coming down.
Yeah, with the Zacian as his sole attacker here, if it gets knocked out, I don't know if he has any way to really clean this up.
All right, well, there we have the Brave Blade taking the knockout, 260 damage thanks to Altered Creation GX, 3 prizes. Jordan now has 1 prize left, but Bert is staring down essentially just game if he can either take a knockout here or if he just waits 2 turns.
So he has a custom catcher that he can go ahead and put back. He does have his Magnolia as well. He gets to put his Jirachi and play with the escape board. Could also switch to that now. Might choose to use his effect so that he can shuffle his deck. I'm not sure. Or he's just going to go ahead and draw these 7 cards. Looks like he's going for that now.
Well, it's kind of you guarantee.
Yeah, you at least have one.
Right?
And he's got the great catcher. Wow.
And there we go. Bert able to pull it off. 2-0 victory in the pseudo mirror match. Clay